live. I didn't play the music this time.
Calling up, calling up, calling up.
Whoa!
I love calling up Justice, and I love Trek Talk.
Boom! And look, it's us. Hello. We're talking. We're here. We're live on twitch.tv/calling up justice. We are live on YouTube. Claudia, Alick, calling up justice, and we are live on TikTok at Claudia, Alick, love. So follow us on all the things to follow us on, and let's talk about season 3, episode 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because like I have some opinions on it. The episode is called Shuttle to Kenorphi. Kenorphi. I mean, both could be names of Star Trek planets. So,
It's true.
So Shuttle to Kenorphi. I'm gonna do a really quick little synopsis about what happened in this episode, and then we're gonna dive in. So, Batel's life is still endangered by the Gorn DNA. There's a pretty flower that can treat her on the planet Kenorphi, which is off limits by treaty with the Klingons. So Pike and M'Benga go down there to go do it. And it turns out that there are moss zombies, and also Baitha, the daughter of the disgraced Klingon general that M'Benga rightfully defended himself with. Then so they fight the zombies, and then like opinions later, and then she sacrifices herself so that M'Benga and Pike can get away. Meanwhile, on the Enterprise, Spock and Batel do a mind meld, and Spock sees the Gorn, and that is very alarming. And then Ortegas is having a lot of fear responses, lies to the crew, intentionally puts everyone in danger, but still pulls it off, but not the point.
Exactly.
Not the point. But also, yeah. And so that's what happened. And so she was suspended at the end of the episode for like a couple of weeks.
Word.
I would love a couple of weeks off to just chill on the Enterprise and not have to do any of my duties. Probably have to talk to a therapist and stuff. That sounds amazing.
They have trauma therapists on the Star Trek. It just feels like a real obvious thing that probably if you were doing that type of job, you probably need therapy all the time. Like, I know a lot of people where they work in industries that are traumatic. So they get a tune-up every 2 weeks because they know they need it.
Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, they're like, well, she got cleared for duty. And I'm like,
Who would clear her for duty?
no,
She's messed up.
Here's the thing, is that there are those of us out there that are very good at acting like they're fine.
Okay.
Until they are not. So I believe that Ortegas was doesn't even know.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't even know how messed up she was. Because she immediately had a fear response when she was afraid for M'Benga and Pike being trapped on that planet, and they might be captured. And that was her biggest worry, was that they were going to get captured.
She already had PTSD from the previous Klingon War. She already had psychological damage, so this was like extra psychological damage.
It was like, and so like, the thing is so La'an, here's the thing, I think that both La'an and Una, even with her ratchet ass hair in that episode, they were both right. La'an was right to be like, we need to keep an eye on her, because she's not acting. She's not acting like herself. Pike had already clocked it in the previous episode when she left the
Yes.
wedding. I'm sorry,
Yes.
the anniversary celebration,
Party.
the party. When Ortegas left the party, like stayed in the back, and then as
Yep.
soon as she could, like booked it out of there.
Say shout out to Star Trek and the reaction shots. They're doing a fabulous job of allowing us to see other characters clock something. And it's a plot point where it's just like, oh, the plot point is that person noticed. I
Yes.
love it. I love
Yes.
it.
And it was just like for a second, he's like, she okay? I'm going to keep that on my mind because you know what? That's what you do for a friend. You don't just immediately jump in and go, something's wrong with you.
I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking of the times when I've had people I was working with and I could tell something was going on that was like outside of like the circle of things I would know about and have control over, and they were acting weird. And the
Mhm.
way they were acting was possibly going to mess up the play, the project we were trying to do
Right.
together. And then I would send somebody to go check in on them. I'd be like, yo, blah, 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 like something's happening. I'm not the one to check in on them to be like, what's going on? But like, somebody needs to go check in on that and make sure they're okay. And then you're going to let me know if I need to take more steps.
Well,
Other than just saying you're a friend, go talk to them.
fair because like I mean I will say they wouldn't have been able to get like anything from Uhura because Ortegas was already pissed off at Nyota. She was like thanks for not having my back, which is like no, that's not how work works.
Yeah, that's not how
That's not
people
how work works, friends. You don't
Exactly.
have yeah,
don't
no.
back up each other's bad plans to
No.
save their fellow bridge officers. That's not friendship. Friendship is letting a fellow bridge officer know that plan is too dangerous and we should come up with a different one.
And this is why.
Yeah.
It's dangerous and this is why. Because like
Now,
it's not like they were just like no. And she acted like I mean it was just, I get it because she was really, really freaking out. I really like nurse. Let's look at these pictures. I forgot that we
yeah.
had these
Like,
pictures.
we keep having these episodes. Maiamama, do you remember like season 1? What was the first thing we saw? We saw Star Trek officers breaking all the rules because they had a better idea and they were going to make it work. And really, what happened in the first episode? Like Pike's like, what was the order? And the order was like vague enough that they could go save people because they were like, we want to break their rules. Do we have enough wiggle room? And to a certain extent, that's what she was trying to do. She was
Right.
like, oh, I think everybody is wrong and we need to do something fast. So I'm going to break the rules a little bit to force us into a situation. It was messed up and wrong. It was
So inappropriate because it was just like, yeah, no, you don't get to you don't get to put people in danger to prove that you are right about this. Because here's the thing, she wasn't. We won't know if them going in, if Pike and Mbenga would have gotten on the ship and gotten away because they were at the ship. They were
at
about.
the ship.
They were
They
fine.
were- Now here's the thing. They might have gotten shot out of the sky by the other Klingons. Something might have happened
The
there.
the zombies could have gotten them, but
I don't think so. I don't think.
I think that they were fine and that
Yeah.
she overreacted.
Yes.
And you can't do that in their line of work. And it's like, and that's like Una had to be like real, like hard about it. Like you can't do that. That's not okay.
Here's
It
a
can't
question.
happen ever
Maya?
again.
I have a question. Is Star Trek getting more conservative? Because this was like a storyline that was about chain of command. I think that might be the name of an episode of Star Trek.
That is an episode.
But yeah, is it getting more conservative? Because it feels like the story it was telling is you need to obey the rules sometimes. You gotta like chain of command exists for a reason.
So, no. I disagree that this is a chain of command issue. I think this is an issue of everyone got a turn. Everyone collaborated. They all agreed. And it's and community wise, you don't get to have just one person be like, we take away all of your choices. And
Right.
because
Right.
I think I'm right. Even if she
You're right.
was, even if she wasn't, it does not matter. You don't get to take away everyone else's autonomy. Everyone has agreed that Una gets to make the ultimate decision, and she did, and they all decided to do it, and they were doing it until
Ooh.
she put them into direct
Yeah,
harm.
I'm realizing that was a theme of this episode. Every single character had choice and agency. It was about other characters being like, "Well, I want to have choice and agency." So like Pike is like he's a captain. He's like that. He's like, "Oh, I don't want you to get into a fight with that Klingon. That's a bad idea. I don't want you to get to meld with the Chimera flower and become part Gorn. I think that's a bad idea." Low key, he's mostly right. Low key, Pike is right, but also people got to make their choices.
But
You got to let people make their choices.
And also, sometimes the only choice you have is that. It's so I was thinking a lot about how this was like having a partner with a terminal illness and trying to take away their choice for treatment and for autonomy and what they get to, because that's ultimately what her choice was about, is that she gets to choose what happens to her body. And she knew that he was not going to respect that, which is like, I mean, like, that's look, we already know that they're not going to make it. They're going to break up. But that's a red flag for Mr. Chris Pike. I like that Mbenga has been married 4 times. Divorced 3, annulled once, and I was like, "Of course you have. You space doctors." And the space doctors and their ex-wives. It's space doctors and ex-wives. I love it.
Wives. Oh my gosh. But like, I think that like, if you're a doctor, like, you have a little bit of a complex. There's that. Mbenga is such an interesting character because he's got this very complex history of like all of this like violence and stuff, and he becomes like, I love this because he was a character I dreamt about a lot because they were supposed to do a spin-off. Just imagine a world where they actually fucking pulled it off.
In the 60s?
Like in the 60s, yes.
Okay, let me just imagine.
Star Trek medical spin-off starring a very handsome black man in the future who's a doctor who solves medical mysteries, and it's very soapy. There's a lot of romance and stuff happening because it's like a space. It's like what was the show that Shonda Rhimes made? Set in a hospital. It was
Grey's
like
Anatomy.
But like in the 1960s with no sex. I think that's, and of course in outer space in the future, I think that's what it was going to be. It would have been amazing. Mbenga is an amazing character. He loved his daughter so much. Seeing that journey, seeing the.
I wonder what happened with her mom.
Yeah, do you think she was one of the divorces, or was she one of the annulments?
Well, there was only one annulment, and so it would have to be at the divorce.
It couldn't be an annulment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that he is he's so like he's very he's struggling to feel good about himself because he has this history of great violence, and he's like, I'm a monster. There's a monster in me. You're shaking your head. You don't think he's a monster, and there's a monster in him.
No, I know he thinks that. I don't agree with him.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah, Pike doesn't agree either. I get why Mbenga thinks like that, though. And I also low-key kind of agree with Mbenga that in the right circumstances, he has a monster in him. Not everybody can do what he does.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, actually, I think that if the situation had been reversed and Pike had been the one to have to fight her, they all would have died. I don't think they would have survived.
Well, Mbenga was very clear that this was just him. He didn't let the monster out on Baitha. He was like, I win. He like did the thing where he just ran the knife across her armor, and because he's like, I mean, I can beat you in a fight. Like, I beat your dad in a fight. But I'm not gonna kill you because like that's not who I am. Like, if I need to, I will. And I think that I think it's sort of like that's also how he doctors. Is it he does what he can. He does every single thing, and he will go above and beyond, and he will break every rule. He will use experimental blood. He will go get weird flowers that he has to cover his face up. If you see, he's covering his face up because it's so toxic. Which also, he was right saying, like, it's not a weird thing for people to use, like, botanical things to treat, even toxic botanical things to treat people. It's very normal and yeah.
I thought the choice to do the bandana style was interesting, just because I was like, I don't know how that has a tight seal, but I'm going to, just imagine it's microfibers from the future, and that's how that's working. It looked a little kerchiefy to me when it comes to keeping out.
It was a kerchief. I mean, it
you into a moss zombie.
I've seen.
Why are they not moss zombies?
Oh,
they weren't masking. They weren't masking.
I mean, I've seen them have masks where they just take the mask and they go, and it goes.
Yes, and like for some reason they're like, oh, I'll just take this piece of cloth and loosely cover my face in the place where people become moss zombies.
Well, no, I will make a point that at this point he didn't know about the moss zombies.
I'm sorry.
He
just you live in the future.
Just the toxic orchid, which he also should have masked for.
Thank you. They're just like Star Trek needs more PPE. That's all I'm saying.
They usually do really well.
They would not have been naked now if they used more PPE in Star Trek.
They had plenty of.
He took
his damn glove off,
he was like,
touched a thing, then touched his face,
and then put it back on so Spock wouldn't catch him.
So like they use PPE. It's just that sometimes you have people who are like, nah. And
that's real.
And I am just like, wow. So like even in the future, you have people that are just like, it's fine.
It's fine. I won't worry about it. What we needed to do in 2020 was have everybody watch The Naked Now in Star Trek and be like, wear your mask. Look at The Naked Now. You don't want to turn out like those people frozen on that ship.
Now, here I have a picture of the couple, the soon to be split up couple.
Chris and Marie, Pike and Battelle, destined to not stay together. We've seen what happens in the next TV show, and she's not on it.
He's seen his future. Like, he has seen his own future. I don't know why he is doing this.
Well, here's the thing. You know why he's doing it. You saw it in episode 1. Because he was like, I'm going to break up with you. I'm going to break up. Season 2, he's like, I'm breaking up with you, girl. I'm breaking up. She's just like, that is dumb. We should stay together. We should make this work, even though we're both captains, and this is stupid, regardless of your Klingon space future. But then she almost dies, and he's just like, girl, I can't lose you. That's what happened. Come on. Am I wrong? That was
no, you are not wrong. I'm just like,
that's the last scene, episode 1.
That is exactly what happened. He got like really choked up, like he got choked up the way that Kirk did when he said human. It was like this human. But also look at Pike's hair.
It's so amazing. His hair
the product. It's so good.
I appreciate because like it was like not really referenced, and then like in episode 1, episode 2, Marie calls him out for all of his hair products
because she's never like really cohabitated with him for like a long time. This is like the first time they've lived together. She's like, geez, you use a lot of products. So many pomades
in her hair. Like her hair is just like boom. Like she goes into like whatever like air distributor thing that like goes on your body, and she's like, that's good enough. That's fine.
She brushes it. She brushes her hair.
Yeah, she brushes it. Mm-hmm. he's got special like pomades that are from other planets.
Yeah.
He's got like a special Tellurian pomade that he uses.
Because you can see that, you can see the finger marks in it that he went and like,
Yes. What I love is I actually saw them doing his hair. Like I saw a back scenes thing, and they don't. It's like a guy using like a curling iron and all this shit to make it look like some guy put pomade in his hand and went like this, and it just
Listen.
accidentally looked magnificent.
he's like,
I love Pike's hair.
so
I do.
good, so good.
What
And
do
I,
you think about go ahead. I was going to ask about what do you think about the dynamics of their relationship. But I'm just wondering, what do you think about the dynamics of their relationship? I think it's hell.
I think that, I don't think that Pike is very good at respecting other people's autonomy and their choice, because he thinks he is smarter than everyone, and he is constantly and continually being shown that he is not.
I don't think he
But
thinks he's smarter. I think he thinks he's right in a fundamental ethical
Yes.
and moral sense.
yes, yes. And he thinks that, and so I think that that in and of itself, like, even though in the end, at the end of the episode, like, he finally respects her choice, I mean, okay, like, that's the bare minimum. But like, it doesn't feel like
But
it.
here's the thing, Maya. If I love you, and
Hmm.
if I thought I could save your life, like if you were about to like, if you were like Claudia, the only choice to save my life is to meld with this flower that might make me part monster. I'd be like, actually,
A
I'm different.
Tuvix, a Tuvix.
Yes, a Tuvix. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So like, if I was like, oh, the only way for you to continue being on this planet is to become a Tuvix, and you're not yourself anymore, would I be cool with it? And I was about to say, no, I'd break all the rules. But the truth is, actually, I'm not wired like that. I think you're right. I think you're right about how Pike is wired to not let people do them. Because like, I would let you do you. I would let you Tuvix yourself. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I respect your choices.
Right. And his first, he wants to save everyone. Everyone is a project, everyone is a mission, including Marie. And that's not how you relationship. It's
Ooh.
and because like right now he's like, I got to fix Marie. I got to fix
Right.
her so that she can go and be a captain and have a great life, because he
Yeah.
doesn't, because he ultimately he knows he's not going to live much longer. He wants
Yes.
her to be okay, even if he's not okay, because like, because he is very lackadaisical about his own life and his own, because he already knows that he'll be fine, probably.
No, he does not.
Probably.
He thinks that he is going to have a really grisly, awful ending.
Oh.
He didn't get to see the Telosian happy
No,
ending.
what I mean is, every mission that is super scary, he knows
Yeah, that's real.
he
That's
will
real.
probably
And
be fine.
He's got Klingon time travel plot armor.
Yeah.
He knows how his story ends, so he's got like a plot armor. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he thinks that's how it ends. He doesn't know that that's not how it ends, that it is actually awesome. Maybe.
Actually, yeah, kind of.
Kind of? I don't know.
I'm gonna be real. He wasn't on that planet for very long, and I know that like they were like, we love each other. Oh, let's be together forever. But like, she was real lonely. She had no choices, and she kind of chose the one. She chose the one dude.
But then in this new time scopy space, not only she had a long and full life with Chris Pike,
Yes.
a simulacrum of him
Yeah.
that the Telosians made, and she
Right.
went
They
off
thought
with
it
him,
was a full copy. Yeah.
and then the real him shows. So like, it's one of those weird nostalgia things where like neither one of them actually know each other. It's like a camp girlfriend kind of situation.
Okay.
But it's
okay.
like, but it's like, oh, remember how great that was and how awesome.
I forgot that they had an exchange during the TV show Discovery.
Yeah.
So I forgot that they had like met back up at Discovery and kind of that makes it less weird. All right, I'm cool with it.
So like they met and they were like, oh, like I still really like you, but obviously, bye. I think is how it went.
Somebody in our audience asked the most audacious question, and I did not agree with it. I thought it was a wild question. They asked, do you think that Star Trek is, well, they didn't ask, do you think? They were like, has anyone noticed that it is? And I'm like, sweetie, don't do that. But like, they were like, do you think Star Trek is propaganda?
Is it propaganda?
And I resolutely say no, obviously not. But
it's colonialist propaganda. It's colonialist propaganda. It's not propaganda at all.
Thank you. They are not space police.
No.
They aren't solving space crimes and putting people in space jail. That's a different show that I also enjoyed in the like 80s, 90s. I think it was called Space Cop.
It could have been. I don't remember.
This show was built off of the backbone of cowboy western TV shows. Which were colonialist fantasies. And so this was the colonialist fantasy, putting it in outer space, and then being like, what if we could have a colonialist fantasy, but it didn't harm indigenous people or black people. In fact, they were so like cool about indigenous people. They had like a prime directive to not fuck people up. And like they're so not racist that there's a black lady who's the communications officer. The future.
Yeah.
Star Trek, baby.
That was Star Trek.
It's not colonialist fantasy.
Absolutely, because they're like, everyone wants a life like the Federation.
Like, what if your colonialist daddy had a British accent, and when he ordered you around all Dom style, he was really polite about it?
You mean he was all like, make it so?
Oh. What if your colonialist daddy cooked you dinner before he ordered you to murder a bunch of aliens?
Ooh, the Cisco. Yes.
Pike. But yeah, Cisco too.
The
like,
Cisco big time.
I was doing like my fingers through my hair. If I was going to be Pike, I'd be doing. If I was doing Cisco, I would do this because it's a smooth dome.
Just like...
smooth dome. Pike is through the hair. Cisco's a smooth dome. Okay, you're about to show me the cutest new nurse. We've got a new character on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. He's our new favorite character, and we're pretty certain they're going to murder him.
Yeah, Nurse Gamble, because it's a gamble that he's going to live much longer. Hey!
But also, Nurse Chapel going to be on and off the show, I think, or something's been going on with Chapel, so there needs to be another nurse to be doing, like, you know, medical type
I think they just wanted to put another black person on the show.
I like his attitude. I like his vibe.
He can take a punch.
I really thought
a Vulcan punch.
I low-key thought that this was going to be like a moment where yes, I thought that they were going to introduce him this character like, this is Gamble, you're going to love him. And then during a mind meld gone awry, like that one episode of Felicity where the bus hit the kid and you were like,
I made a point to not watch that, but I get it.
Not a great show, right? But I was rooming. I had a roommate who was really into it. And I remember I sat down and they were watching their like soap opera about white people going to college. And like the main character, Felicity, she cut her hair or something like that.
Everyone was upset about it.
Who was like, I really like you and I'm in love with you. But also he seemed like a nice guy stalker and there was like that vibe. And then like he took 2 steps into the street to say some shit and then a bus, and it was the first time I'd ever
the bus jump scare.
Yeah, and I was like,
whoa. My first bus jump scare was Meet Joe Black, but and I will say, it is a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, no, I thought that was all. Like I was a little. I didn't think he was gonna die. I just thought he would be hurt more. But he just kind of got up, and he was like, ugh. Wow. Anyway, and I'm like, Vulcans are strong. They're Klingon strong.
Too. Look at his chest. He's
Yeah,
strong.
but they're Klingon strong. Vulcans are like Klingon strong, and I know that he's only half Vulcan, but he's still like
He wasn't holding back because he had like that
Gorn. Yeah, he had that Gorn in him.
What is going on? Now, here's my question. Do you think she's got a Gorn in her? She got that Gorn in her, and when they chimera flower, she's gonna become like Gorny, and then she's gonna be like
me so Gorny.
Oh
sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That was wrong.
I'll go.
That was wrong.
Goodbye.
That was wrong. And I was gonna make like a Sigourney Weaver. I was trying to go for Sigourney, but I couldn't figure out how to get there. But like,
oh, didn't Sigourney do a thing with aliens?
Yeah,
having to be combined.
Combined in her.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, exactly. That's what I meant.
Obviously.
Anyway,
obviously.
I am concerned that she's gonna try to wake the Gorn back up. Like that's what's gonna happen in future episodes. They're gonna chimera flower her, and then she's gonna be like, oh my god, and like she's gonna be super like very into sex and like woo, and like Pike's gonna love it, and then Pike's gonna be like, there's something going on with you, and she's gonna like steal a ship and try to do an explosion to make all the Gorn come back.
Do you know what I think is going to happen?
What?
I think we are dealing with a terminal illness situation, and I don't think she's going to make it. I think that the chimera is going to work, but it's not going to work. And I think she's going to pass away.
You might be right.
Because it's one of those things, it's something that Chris himself cannot fight. There is nothing like without the flower that they found. Mbenga said 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Days.
Right.
Like she is not okay. Like she looks. I mean, she does look. We'll go back to the picture. She doesn't look. Yeah, she doesn't look great, but she doesn't look like she's gonna die in 3 days. And that's why, and so like that's what Mbenga had to be like, Chris, stop. There is nothing else. If we don't do this, she's dead in 3 days. Like, stop it. And that's what like knocked sense into him. Even if he doesn't agree with it, he's like, we literally have no choice. So I guess I'm just gonna have to agree with it. So I think ultimately this is gonna be a situation where Chris has to deal with something out of his control. Ooh. That he doesn't have, because more and more, it might even be some type of euthanasic issue.
Oh my God.
That's a word. I don't know if it exists, but I made it up.
You made it up, but it's pretty good. I've been trying to figure out what other times in Star Trek somebody's had a terminal illness that you couldn't solve, like couldn't be cured, and that was like what happened in that episode.
Battlestar Galactica did it.
No. Star Trek?
Oh no, sorry. Star Trek. I was thinking of a different show. I was like, wait, they did it once.
Right now, I know that like Picard has a terminal illness, but they keep using shenanigans to cure him. Now he's a robot. Spoiler alert for Picard. Trust me. I didn't say that.
It's fine. It literally doesn't even matter because they're like, he's human. The golem body that he has is human. So he's human.
Body, so it's like, don't even worry about it.
He's fine. He's a human. So he can, we don't have to worry about anything associated with robots. He's not a robot.
Like what I liked about the ending of the Star Trek The Next Generation TV show is that you always knew that he's going to be an old man and die of this terrible disease. That was never changed. That was always his fate, and that's what was going to happen to him. And like that's life. And I kind of low-key like that being like part of the Star Trek universe. So maybe like in some ways that they're resetting some like things in the Star Trek universe to level set.
Half a Life is an episode that it's not about it's euthanasia.
Exactly. exactly. He didn't have no disease.
But it is also about autonomy. It's about choice.
Yeah, but like for him though, he was coerced by his family. Like he made
Culturally.
the choice to not do it, and then everyone who loved him coerced him into doing the worst thing ever.
Agreed.
That's a horrible episode. It's got an awful ending. It's just like that's terrible.
But
The end.
But like in this way, I think that what is going to happen is that this is just another thing, like another kind of loss type of situation that Chris is going to have to like come to terms with not having control over situations.
Um.
They're
All right.
gonna fridge her to teach her something. This is right before little Gamble gets just full on. Like the arm hit him and he went bam, like
Yeah.
against the wall. If
Yeah.
somebody, well, you know what? So like I have worked a myriad of jobs and I have been smashed. I have been hit,
Person who was having a thing. Yeah.
smashed into a wall like that.
Agreed.
And I will tell you, I did not just actually no, I did, but I was real wobbly and it was mostly adrenaline and I wasn't like
Here's the thing. Probably he was a little wobbly and full of adrenaline, and when they left, he hypo-sprayed himself. Because damn,
I bet
that when
Christine
they
did.
turned, he had gone like this. That actually would have been nice to see him have a reaction of like, I think you broke my rib. Because it would be nice if he was like being nice. Like I would love it as a character beat of him like not letting everybody know Spock broke my rib, but then like taking care of that rib.
I would have loved that. I would have also loved that.
All right, so where you're moving us to the piece of the story I want to talk about. It looks like you have a question. Go for it.
No, I don't.
Okay,
Go.
so this is my question. Why do they have to like when I saw a black person playing a Klingon, I immediately was like, oh no, because I feel like they write the Klingons weird and racist and awful, and I don't like how they're like Klingons just murder everyone. They don't like Klingons don't care fundamentally about lives of other Klingons. And I go, in some Star Trek stories, that's the story. Klingons don't care about Klingon life. They don't value Klingon life. And then other Star Trek stories, Klingons are fully embodied aliens that aren't like this. I don't like how they make Klingons this weird thing so that humans can be the ultimate.
So here are my notes that I wrote because I wrote literally I knew the second I saw Betha that she would be the last and an important plot point that ultimately doesn't matter. Backwards rules about honor that ultimately don't matter. That is what I got. It was almost like I saw as soon as I found out that she was associated with the general guy, I was like, oh, they're gonna fridge her to like move along Mbanga's storyline a little bit more. Here's
the thing. If the religious aspects, because like for the Bajorans, the religious aspects are real. They are real. So like you can respect choices made on faith. For Klingons, you just named it as political and not faith-based. Like I can say yes to everything because I understand that like her entire culture is shunning her, telling her you don't get to live. You don't get to exist unless you murder that guy. That's the end of the sentence. You either needed to murder your dad and you didn't do that, so now you got to murder the guy who murdered your dad, and that's the end of it. But what I saw in this episode was that I think the actress was fixing it a little bit, and what I saw was somebody who was making a choice based on their belief in the afterlife. Not based on their belief of trying to succeed on this earthly plane.
No, she wanted to go to Sto-vo-kor. She wanted to go to Sto-vo-kor.
Yeah.
And without dying an honorable death,
right,
she would not go to Sto-vo-kor. By like you know, fighting all those moss zombies. By the way, I just want to be really clear. I don't think anybody ever, I'm speaking to anybody out there who writes, y'all need to just stop putting in lines that say, "Do we have to call them zombies?" Shut up.
No, here's the
Shut
thing,
up.
though. Here's the thing. Isn't it clever? Isn't it clever how they didn't just call them zombies, right? But they did not call them zombies. They did both. Don't you see what they did there? So, like, now if somebody tries to write something clever on the internet, the writers got ahead of them with shitty writing. Do you see what they did? That's called overcorrecting, and I agree with you, Maya.
Yeah, it just
They never
I
should have said the word zombie at all. I was pissed when I heard it.
but even here's the thing, is that if they had said zombie, like a zombie, and then he could have been like, yeah, like a zombie. Anyway, blah blah
And then
blah blah
moving
blah.
on. Sure.
Sure. But like the way that Mbenga was like, don't call them zombies. Why not?
Ugh.
Why not? Are they not
Why-
undead bodies trying to eat people?
I never saw the show The Last of Us. I have the video game, and I played approximately
Is that the
5
video
minutes.
game?
Yes, isn't it called The Last of Us? Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
looking at
the mushroomy
I'm-
ones, right? I haven't. I only played a
don't know,
couple.
Maya. I haven't seen the show. I've never seen any of
I'm
the
talking
show.
about the game.
I know, and I haven't. So I've only played the first 5 minutes of the video game because it was the first video game I tried to play. At the top of the pandemic, somebody bought me a PlayStation.
Oh
and I put that in,
right.
and I remember being like, "Why am I a white guy? Why do I have to be a white man?" And my
What's his
friend was
name?
not
Joel.
was like, "Just be okay with it. Just be. You're this character."
I had so
And
many
I was
other
like,
games that you would
I'm
have liked
really
way better.
uncomfortable. Well, that's why I immediately put it down. I was like, I'm going to play a game where I don't have to be some weird white guy. Also, even in this, like, the first opening parts with a tutorial, figuring out how to, like, move your body and move stuff, I was like, I get the feeling something bad's going to happen. And I'm living through a pandemic. To relax, I don't want to experience something horrible. I'm really appreciative I had that reaction. I don't think I would have emotionally enjoyed playing The Last of Us in 2020. Oh my god. Although I do think that's why the TV show is on air. Because somebody had the same experience as me and liked it and made that into a TV show. Anyway, I was like, oh, is this similar? Is this a similar thing where the plants make you into a monster?
So the moss infects. It's dumb, okay? Because zombies are dumb. But
Not
the moss like infects the brain, and it does kill. It devours everything.
yes.
And so because they put the moss and the flour together, and it created some like thing that ate every living thing on the planet.
Realizing, Maya, we've just been saying the words moss zombies over and over again, and I'm realizing this is a trope. Like Stephen King has a moss zombie story that's actually it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. It's from Night Shift.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, did
Um,
he really? I mean, he was a moss. Yeah.
Like the entire point of that was that it's going to make everybody moss zombies and everybody's going to become moss. That's why. It's
Yes.
been a while since I've read.
No,
a
you're
Stephen
right.
King
You're right.
Night Shift, but like I'm pulling from the archives here. I will say this: zombies started off as a shitty racist thing, like as most monsters. Most monsters in movies were a shitty racist storytelling device, right? So I'm always looking at stories that have zombies in them and being like, did the person who wrote this have some weird racist stuff happening inside their head and heart? Because that's at the core of all zombie stories. Or are they trying to flip it? I don't know.
Well, in this, okay, I finally realized why I don't like this episode very much. And it's
Okay.
because ultimately, like 99% of the things that happened in this episode don't matter.
I agree. If there were 24 episodes, an episode like this would be better. But Maya, there's a reason why they can't put anything that really matters in this. There's an audience demographic that will never, ever, ever want to see a scary, awful episode like this. This episode was awful. When, like, the emotions, it was
I didn't like it.
awful.
I don't like zombie things, and I was like, what is this? Why am I watching a horror movie from my favorite TV show?
But that's what Star Trek does. That's why Star Trek's amazing. Star Trek can be in one episode a ridiculous, silly comedy.
And it
Oh,
was.
this
And
guy
it
is-
was. And a musical.
and now the next, and like you have action adventure fighting aliens. We're weirdos. We're a musical, and now it's a horrible drama about guilt and war and like that's why Star Trek is awesome, because every episode can be a different genre, but it's still Star Trek.
True.
That, Maya, here's the thing. You say this episode didn't matter, but I think that it deepens all of the characters in a way that makes them live forever for me. Like, that exchange between Mbenga and Pike at the end, I was like, oh, 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 oh.
Where Pike, where Mbenga is like, "Are you gonna turn me in?" And he's like, "Why would I do that?"
And but then he's like, why would I do that?
that.
I don't have to. I can just,
Well,
I can
The
just,
mission never happened. So
Yeah.
anything I know or I learned from this officially never happened.
and then he's like, yeah, but if you had to tell, would ya?
No.
Well, he says he would say, my friend told a story to save my life.
Right. Which is the truth.
Yes. And I go, that's the danger of Pike. Pike has a moral high ground that would allow him to lie by telling the truth.
Yes. He will look you right in the eye, and he will and he will well, and also I think though that Battelle has the same type of problem too, because
Yeah.
she, like, I do want to say that, like, obviously, we'll get to that later, or in a minute, but obviously Marie is going through a lot.
Yeah.
I frankly, it's amazing that she's lived as long as she has. Every second that she's had has been a miracle.
She was on a planet that was attacked by the Gorn.
She herself,
Nobody survives that.
if you get infected with the Gorn, you're like, that's it. They have to euthanate you.
Yeah.
I love how I'm making up words here.
This is a really useful term. Y'all, listen to the word there's nobody else left in, like, all my people left. They just left because they were like, sorry, we got to get back to work. This is a good word, and I like it. And we use it all
Euthanate.
the time. Yeah, euthanate.
Well,
Euthanated.
the thing is that you agree to it. So it's not that they're doing it to you. It's that you're like, please do this to me. Like, most of the time when someone gets infected by the Gorn, they don't want to live because they
course.
won't.
That's
Because
horrific.
they
And
won't.
also, and it's a horrible way to go out. You don't want to go out with Gorn babies growing inside you. That is not pretty. And in
Gorn
fact,
babysitter
you
are going to
heard-
kill everybody.
You heard Spock scream. Like, that's what's inside her. What's inside her made Spock scream. I think that was a very effective way to be like, holy
And then have him go,
bad.
well, like, that was a big reaction.
Although,
Sorry,
actually,
buddy.
Maya,
Gotta
can I
go.
just, like, Maya, three of these live streams ago, you did a big prime temporal directive thing that was talking about inconsistency. So I do want to do a couple of shout outs for inconsistencies in Star Trek. So in TOS, the original series, nobody knew shit about the Vulcans. Now, now I'm like, either Bones is a Bones. I got Bones right here. Bones. Sorry, that was Sulu. We got. Okay, I'm not gonna pat Bones because I'd be pressing myself in an inappropriate area. But you see where Bones is. Bones was either really bad at his job, like just incredibly ignorant about Vulcans, because we now understand they've had exchanges with Vulcans. They've had, but like there's no reason for them to not know what a mind meld is, for that stuff to be mysterious. But
Okay, so originally in the timeline, you are correct that they did not know a lot. But then, because of the temporal Cold War, because of things that happened on the NX-01 Enterprise, there were a lot of changes, specifically with sub commander and then commander T'Pol, and her relationship with the doctors, with the different people there, and how they in fact got to know not just Vulcans but Vulcan society. Because of the NX-01, Vulcans turned from being more militaristic to being a more spiritual based society and taking on the teachings of Sarek. That is so like they that was a change to the timeline, I think, and that is why they know a little bit more. And it doesn't seem as weird
yeah,
to have a half Vulcan, half human child. Like no one's even saying anything other than, well, like, because there aren't a lot of Vulcans in Starfleet. There never are.
But nobody's like, ooh, you're mixed, and that's weird. It's weird that you're a mixed person. Like, Bones is so microaggressive. Like, he's not even doing microaggressive.
No, they're full on macro.
He's doing slurs. He's just doing slurs to Spock every other episode in TOS.
And then,
so what I appreciate here is that in this version of the universe, in this version of the timeline, the world is less racist and things aren't weird. Like, it wasn't a weird thing. That said, I did have a moment where I went, oh, you're just gonna whip out the mind meld, and everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, mind meld, no problem. Like, even Nurse Gamble's gonna be like, oh yeah, mind meld, yeah.
Chapel was the one who recommended it. She was like, hey Spock, do you think you could mind meld with her, because we don't have time for you to teach her the meditative trick. She is the one who requested it. So, like, yeah, she knows tons about Vulcans. Like, Chapel knows tons about Vulcans, not just because of her prior relationship with Spock, because she's a nurse. Because she's a nurse, and one of the first alien species that humans had ever had contact with were Vulcans. And it makes no sense that they're like, oh, we don't know anything about what goes on inside their bodies.
What I love is that when you watch TOS through the lens, through the lens of that because I've been watching it through the lens of that's the alternate timeline. That the timeline we're watching is the one that makes sense. That something funky happened in time travel that made it so Pike was like, well, we don't usually have women on the bridge, except for that chick. Number one, you're not really a woman. That was weird. TOS has weird moments.
You're just like one of the guys.
There's never been a female captain, ever. There's never been one, and this one lady is so jealous of Kirk, she's literally gonna swap bodies with him. It is the most epic episode ever, y'all.
He's
y'all
so good. I gotta say that it's
William Shatner with a woman inside him, just being all.
Just like the worst woman, though.
The most hysterical, insane.
Like she hates women. A woman hating woman that is inside.
Type of woman.
That is inside of that is inside of Kirk's body, and is like, I'm a boy now.
And now I can run everything.
She's like, learn science. Sorry.
Anyway, this episode I'm probably not going to revisit because it was tough. It had a lot of like harsh emotions in it and stuff. But I gotta say, I thought it was well written. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was well made. All right, we got to talk about this though. This actually makes it the worst episode of Star Trek on ever made. Why'd they do that to my girl? Why'd they do that to? I wish you could. I wish the audience. You
Una
can
has the worst
and Una's
hair
hair.
ever. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were thinking. That's and here's the thing is that it's I can tell that it's a wig of some sort, but it is a bad hairstyle. She doesn't like it's like they wanted her to look. They're trying to turn her into some sort of Captain Mom kind of thing, and they're trying to marm her up.
So do you think that they were trying to make her less attractive, like on purpose? Because
Possibly.
she's her. Like, how is she not gonna? She's Rebecca freaking Romaine.
But they want to make her ship mom. And
I don't know if this is ship mom hair.
well, no, because it reminds me of Janeway. It reminds me of something that Janeway would have, and I don't like that. Because I don't like what that represents. What that represents is that they're trying to, like, de-sex her, and which is not necessary. It's not necessary because it would be perfectly reasonable if Una was ace.
Here's the thing. I'm seeing. You know what? I could be wrong. It looks like they have been doing a lot of different hairstyles for Una.
Mm-hmm.
Una has the hair pulled back in that weird braid thing, and then a long ponytail in the back. Una has just the hair down, which I actually think doesn't make any sense.
I like
Una
it.
has it pulled back in a. Oh no, I think the hair down is pretty. I just know that if I had her job, that hairstyle would drive me insane. I'm
Mm.
doing this all the friggin' time, and I'm like talking to you about Star Trek. What would it be like? What would it be like
If you
trying to like
were
see your
Star Trek,
uncle, and you were like, oh, I can't just, oh, okay, it's just ridiculous.
guys, hold on.
Yeah. When she's got her hair pulled up tight and tall, and that bun on the top, that makes sense to me. This was unattractive and ugly, and made it look like they'd shaved her head, like that her head had been shaved, and then like someone had put a braid on a bald head, and I don't understand why, or yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
like she had
know.
this. There was this one style where it was like slicked back, high pony, and then the braid was around the high pony, and that
And that
was a
makes sense.
nice style.
That
It looked good on her, and it made sense. This looks complicated and bad.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and like here's the thing. If I wanted to put a little bit of realism in it, then maybe Una decided to try something new. And hopefully she doesn't do it again.
here's the
Like
thing.
we all try new hairstyles and
I
then go,
I needed a moment. I needed a moment where Laan was like
girl.
trying something new, huh? And Una's like, yeah, and Una's like, huh. And then like that's all that we get. That's all. I needed something. That's
Well,
all I
La'an would be the only one who it would be, where it would be appropriate because like they have that like sister, big sister,
exactly.
little sister thing. So
Yeah.
if she had been like, oh, and then like what's wrong with it? That would be really really funny. Like the cool little sister
Exactly.
type of situation. That would have been funny. But like I don't like this hairstyle, and I'm hoping. Okay, so I have avoided as much media for the next episode. So I don't know what it's called. I know
Me
it's the
neither.
fourth
I don't
episode.
know. I have no idea. I'm about to go watch it right this minute.
So I'm looking forward to just seeing what's gonna happen. Cause like this episode, a lot happened, but it also feels like it feels like a lot of exposition, but also action to set us up to things.
Yes. Yes.
um, which
Um.
is important because we need the setup. We don't just tell us. They need to show us how everyone gets there. It's just sometimes I don't I get bored.
Now, the exciting thing about getting to watch Star Trek as it's airing, and there's only one episode out a week, is that we get to guess what happens, and I actually really enjoy that. And like this is a special thing that we only get, right? So I'm gonna be I'm nervous for my girl who flies the ship. I like how she flies the ship. I'm concerned for her. Like I'm. It feels like she took the note, and she took the note to heart, and I'm just curious about what's gonna happen next, and I hope it goes well. I want her to do good.
I do too. So I think I'm hopeful that I think that they are. I think they just want to show us what the path to actual healing looks like, story wise. That is my guess. Is that they're going to show that healing is not a linear type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that that Erica can be okay to go to work and then one day not be okay, and have to take a step back, reevaluate, and then try again, and figure it out, because even she knows that what she did was messed up and not okay. When she said sorry, she meant it. She is mad. She's big mad about it, but she knew that she shouldn't have done that. And so I hope she's gonna learn that.
And
That's what we're gonna.
I like that this show is giving us a story that has accountability in it. And accountability that doesn't mean you messed up and now you're fired and we don't see that character ever again. It's, oh, you messed up and there's a path back. I like that.
Like Paris. Ooh, another pilot.
Hey.
Another pilot who made a unilateral decision that put the ship in danger, and he got fully demoted.
Yep.
And so at least she only got 2 weeks off, but
I'm gonna go watch the next episode.
Me
now.
too.
Right this minute.
No, well,
I love
hold on.
Star Trek.
I need to say the things, because we're 5 minutes over. Okay, follow us on all our things. Like and subscribe. It is important. I have to say that because I want it done. And when you need something, you ask for it.
Subscribe.
Yeah, do all the things. And now I'm gonna. Oh, I didn't have the music. I was gonna play the music. Oh, I can play the music. I have it. I'm gonna go to the thing. So let's say, peace and long life. Claudia, you have to say the right thing back.
Oh, live long and prosper.
There we go. I was so afraid you were going to say the wrong thing. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Music. All right. And now the music's playing and I say, thank you so much for joining us. Trek Talk is a Calling Up Justice production. I'm your host, Maiamama. Special thanks to guest and executive producer Claudia Alick. For more information on Claudia, check out the links in the show notes and in the chat. That's linktree/Calling Up Justice. And I'm going to put some stuff about me in the chats as well. So I'll put my link tree in there. And I'm going to stick links about how you can help with Calling Up Justice and join us and do all the things that we're doing and support us and save the world. And that's all I got.